Welcome to Back Bike Beat. The 2025 BSA Bantam 350 enters the market with a blend of charm and practicality that few bikes manage to achieve in this price range. Reviving the Bantam name could have been a purely nostalgic exercise, a way to cash in on heritage without offering anything substantial for modern riders, but this isn't the case here. Instead, what we have is a motorcycle that carries forward the spirit of a lightweight British single, simple, accessible, and honest, while equipping it with modern reliability, emissions compliance, and usability. It's not a retro gimmick. It's a genuine attempt to make motorcycling feel joyful and uncomplicated again. The first thing to talk about is the engine, because that's where the character of this machine really comes alive. The 334 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled DOHC single produces just shy of 30 horsepower, but numbers only tell part of the story. The delivery is smooth at low revs, forgiving for beginners who may not yet be fully confident with throttle control, yet it wakes up eagerly as you climb through the mid-range. That means it's docile when you need it to be, such as filtering through traffic or cruising steadily, but also playful when you want to open it up on a clear stretch of road. Torque comes in early enough to avoid the feeling of constantly having to rev it to the limit, but it also spins freely when you do chase the redline. This flexibility makes the Bantam 350 much more versatile than you might expect for the segment. The gearbox deserves a mention too. The 6-speed unit is a clear advantage over rivals that stick to 5 gears. That extra ratio makes motorway cruising less frantic and keeps the engine within a comfortable band, reducing fatigue over longer journeys. Clutch action is light, and shifts are smooth, which again makes life easier for new riders. Together, these elements make the Bantam a bike that is both forgiving for learners and satisfying enough for more experienced riders to enjoy as a lightweight runabout. Handling is another strong point. At 185 kilos wet, it feels planted without ever being heavy. The weight is carried low enough that it never feels intimidating, and combined with the 800mm seat height, it's approachable for shorter riders. The wide bars and neutral geometry give the Bantam 350 an eager, agile feel in corners, yet it avoids the nervousness that sometimes plagues lightweight machines. On city streets, this agility translates to quick U-turns, nimble lane changes, and effortless parking. Out on country roads, it rewards riders who want to throw it into bends, with enough composure to encourage spirited riding. Suspension is deliberately simple. No fancy adjustability at the front, just a telescopic fork with 135mm of travel. At the rear, twin shocks offer preload adjustment across 5 steps with 100mm of travel. This setup is firm enough to keep things tidy when cornering but compliant enough for everyday road imperfections. It's a good compromise. Riders won't be dazzled by high-end suspension tricks, but they won't feel shortchanged either. For the class and price point, the Bantam's suspension is well judged. Braking comes via a 320mm front disc and a 240mm rear disc, both with Biber calipers and standard ABS. While not track spec levels of bite, the setup is progressive, confidence-inspiring, and more than capable of handling the Bantam's modest weight and performance. The front brake provides strong stopping power without grabbing too harshly, while the rear adds stability and helps newer riders learn good braking habits. In terms of design, the Bantam 350 strikes a careful balance. Rather than overloading the bike with retro flourishes, it goes for clean lines and subtle nods to the past. The teardrop tank, round headlamp, flat seat, and fork gaiters are classic touches, but the bike is otherwise modern in its proportions. Blacked-out engine casings, restrained use of chrome, and purposeful bodywork keep it from looking like a pastiche. The paint options also help. Oxford blue and Avalon gray are sophisticated and understated, while firecracker red and Victor yellow add youthful vibrance. Beryl black gives the bike a stealthier look. This range allows the Bantam to appeal to both those who want a classic look and those who prefer something bolder. Living with the Bantam day-to-day is straightforward. The 13-liter tank offers decent range, especially given the frugal nature of a 334 cubic centimeters single. Expect well over 60 miles per gallon in normal riding, meaning commuting costs stay low. Servicing is relatively simple, with intervals designed to keep costs affordable, and parts availability is backed by BSA's parent company support. Insurance should also be reasonable, another factor that makes this bike so approachable for those entering motorcycling for the first time. The digital analog dash is compact and easy to read, offering all the basics like speed, revs, trip meters, and fuel level. Some riders have pointed out quirks in the switchgear, such as buttons that don't serve clear functions, but these are minor complaints rather than deal breakers. In practice, the Bantam 350 remains a fuss-free motorcycle that doesn't drown you in menus or overcomplicate the riding experience. When we compare it directly to rivals, the Bantam's strengths become clear. The Royal Enfield Hunter 350 has similar retro styling but weighs more and produces less power, while costing slightly more. The Honda GB350S brings Japanese refinement and solid build, but again, it comes at a higher price point. The Bantam 350 undercuts both while delivering competitive performance, making it a compelling value proposition. It also feels more youthful and energetic than some of its rivals, which lean heavily on heritage styling. For new riders, the Bantam is approachable and unintimidating. The weight, seat height, and manageable power delivery are perfect for building confidence. For commuters, the economy, nimbleness, and low running costs make it practical. For experienced riders, the Bantam offers a lightweight alternative to bigger machines, a bike that can be enjoyed at sane speeds without requiring full concentration or constant restraint. It's the kind of motorcycle you ride because you want to, not because you need to prove anything. The Bantam name itself carries weight, and BSA has been careful with how it has been reintroduced. The original Bantam was the bike that introduced generations of riders to two wheels, known for being simple, affordable, and reliable. This new version carries the same ethos. It isn't about matching specs with high-performance middleweights or pretending to be a cruiser. It's about delivering an honest, uncomplicated motorcycling experience at a price that makes sense. The few criticisms that exist are relatively minor. Some riders would prefer a slightly softer suspension for rougher roads, and the switchgear could be simplified. Build quality is good overall but understandably not premium in every detail. Yet at this price, compromises are inevitable, and none of these points detract from the core appeal of the bike. Ultimately, the 2025 BSA Bantam 350 is about joy. It's about rediscovering the simple pleasure of riding, feeling the engine thrum beneath you, leaning into corners, and enjoying the sense of freedom that motorcycling brings. It manages to do this while remaining practical, affordable, and stylish. It's a beginner's bike, yes, but it's also a second bike for enthusiasts, a commuter, a weekend toy, and a reminder of what makes motorcycles special in the first place. For under £3,500, there are very few bikes that deliver this mix of performance, style, and usability. The Bantam 350 might not be perfect, but it is authentic, and in today's market, that counts for a lot. Riders looking for a straightforward, fun, and affordable motorcycle should absolutely put this bike on their shortlist. It's not just a name reborn, it's a spirit reborn, and one that feels perfectly timed for the way people want to ride today.